This is a presentation on William Nathan Nat Schoenfeld by Christine Lowery. Who was William Nathan Schoenfeld? He led a successful and noteworthy career in applied behavior analysis. He was born in New York on December 6, 1915, and passed away on August 3, 1996, at the age of 80. Schoenfeld attended the College of the City of New York, where he started his career pursuing his undergraduate degree in chemistry. Schoenfeld was the only psychology student in the class of 1937 to have been awarded a Bachelor of Science rather than a Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science, Social Science degree. Schoenfeld continued his education at Columbia University, where he earned a master's degree in 1939 and a PhD degree in 1942. Some of Schoenfeld's work. He was a psychology lecturer and professor and published author. His research suggested trends related to social contingencies having effects on people's behavior. I related this to the Pliant's rule-governed behavior, where an individual is under control of social contingencies. Schoenfeld published an article, The Influence of Ego Involvement on Confidence, in 1958, and where he researched the influences of an individual's confidence in a particular situation or task where their ego is involved. What Schoenfeld found was there was no doubt from the reports of the subjects that there was a much greater effort expended and anxiety experienced. This suggested that his study proved that there was some level of social influence on people's level of confidence when performing particular tasks. Schoenfeld also conducted a study of long-term continuous stress and its effects on the body and mind, which can be found in his published article, Experimental Psychology at New York VA Hospital in 1964. In this experiment, he conducted a number of tests using animals and putting them under severe levels of stress in order to identify what high levels of stress could do to damage the body. Schoenfeld's research trended towards social influences or stimuli having an impact on people's behavior. His research suggested that an individual who is under a level of long-term continuous stress will experience levels of increased cardiac response. One of Schoenfeld's most notable contributions was Religion and Human Behavior in 1993. In this book, he discusses why religious behavior is relevant and why it continues to persist in our culture. Schoenfeld discusses religion in terms of behavior analysis, suggesting that rituals conducted in religious ceremonies can be explained in behavior analytic terms. Not all of Schoenfeld's work had such an obvious link to social contingencies affecting others' behavior. He co-authored a textbook used for undergraduate studies called The Principles of Psychology, a Systematic Text in the Science of Behavior in 1950. The textbook contains some of the research he conducted, but the primary use was as a textbook for undergraduate class he lectured. Additionally, Schoenfeld conducted an experiment on the effects of electric shock and responses on the brain in a journal article published, Stimulus Intrusion on Fixed Interval Responding in the Rat, in 1975. This study did not fall within the same trend as some of his previous research, but he was able to determine that the function of a stimulus is determined by its intensity, the response that is required in order to gain the stimuli, and the temporal location or the time of the reinforcement. This does not fit the same rule-governed behavior trend that I previously suggested. However, this study shows the importance and significance of stimuli in the environment affecting people and their behavior. Some of his notable published books and journal articles were Principles of Psychology, a systematic textbook in the science of behavior in 1950, which he co-authored with his colleague at the time, Fred Keller, at Columbia University. The Theory of Reinforcement Schedules in 1970, Stimulus Schedules in 1972, Religion and Human Behavior in 1993, and some of his most notable journal articles included The Influence of Ego Involvement on Confidence in 1958, Behavior and Perception in 1962, and The Stimulus Intrusion of Fixed Interval Responding in the Rat, The Effects of Electric Shock Intensity, Temporal Location, and Response Contingency in 1975. If I were given the opportunity to interview Schoenfeld before his passing, I would ask about his career and what he thinks his contributions would be to the applied behavior analysis field in 2017. The first thing I would ask is, a significant portion of your work involved researching social issues and its possible influences on people's behavior. Currently, our society and politics often revolve around a few issues, such as racism, terrorism, gun control, healthcare, and mental health in young adults. Given this information, where would you begin your research into how recent societal changes influence people's behavior in 2017? The next thing I would ask is about his experiment on the high levels of stress. And in that study, he included a number of different variables. And so in 2017, young adults are exposed to more situations where they could experience high levels of stress. This could be within the social media presence, academic pressures, or pressures to fit in or succeed. So what would be some important factors to consider when conducting an experiment about what stress can do to a person's body and health? The next question I would ask is, what area of applied behavior analysis was your favorite or was most intriguing to you? And finally, I would ask if there was ever an experiment that you always wanted to conduct that you never got the chance to, or was there a question that was never answered before you're retiring? Why is Schoenfeld so important to ABA? He was a pioneer of the behavior analysis field. His writings and research are still used in classrooms today, and he led people to think that even in the least likely situations, such as religious sanctions, behavior analysis can be applied. As I begin my career as a behavior analyst, I will take what I learned from Schoenfeld and the research about him and apply it to my own career. I think that as a good behavior analyst, I should continue to question and research because people's behavior continues to grow and change as our environments and stimuli change around us. These are some of the resources I used for my presentation. Thank you.